Hey everyone, this is gonna be a tour of my bookshelf. Yeah, I only have one shelf, but I'm planning to stock over the summer. Well, these aren't the books I have. I first want to introduce you to these two books, The Lost Bookshop and Story Collector, written by E.V. Woods, and in my opinion, the most underrated books ever. The Lost Bookshop is basically about three people, Martha, Henry, and O'Pallin. Martha and Henry are in the present timeline, like in the 21st century, where O'Pallin is like a few hundred years before, and she was the greatest book dealer at her time. And Henry is the love interest of O'Pallin, like Martha, and it's kind of like such a good book. The Story Collector is also instated in different timelines. There is Sarah, whose story takes place in 2011, and then Anna Butler, whose story takes place in 1911. So Sarah comes to Ireland, to a little village called Thornwood, after she boards the wrong plane during Christmas. And these two are really good, and both of them have this little hint of Ireland in them, and they are also beautiful books. Next one that I have is One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate. There is another of her books called Crenshaw. I want it. It's desperately on my TBR, but I haven't got it yet. One and Only Ivan is about Ivan, the silverback gorilla, who lives in this mall. And he has in company Stella, an elephant, and Bob, a dog. And one day, this little elephant called Ruby, she comes to the mall and is in the cage next to him with Stella. And then he realizes that there is more to the world than the mall, and then he begins to think of a time where Ruby, the elephant, is free. And one of the main peculiarities of these chapters is that they are not chapters at all. Like, look, they are literally just lines like this. There's nothing definite. Like, I'll literally, yeah. The first chapter is literally just two lines. I'm Ivan, I'm a gorilla. It's not as easy as it looks. So this book is really good for animal lovers and people who love to find that things are not always as they seem and that sometimes they're also caring. Introducing Book Thief by Markus Zusak. It's set in the Holocaust and it's narrated by Death. And there's a line by Death, here's a small fact, you're going to die. And that's what actually hooked me up in this book. It's about Lisa, and she sometimes steals books. She also does hate the Fuhrer from some point, when she realizes that it's the Fuhrer is the reason why her mother had to leave her to foster care. And also, in the end is so heartbreaking that when I gave it to one of my friends to read, she gave it back to me without even finishing, and she was like, never give me a Holocaust book ever again. Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. It's so good. I have read the other two, that is Good Girls Guide to Murder and As Good as Dead. This is the second book in the trilogy, and it's really good. The end is really, really good, but you should see the end of the last one. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, and Good Girl, Bad Blood it has a lot of blood splatter. It also leaves you with PTSD. Introducing the Percy Jackson series, which would include Norse mythology and Trials of Apollo, Percy Jackson, the Greek gods, and of course, the two books by Rick Riordan collaborating with Mark Oshiro. I think I'll just pull. These two are actually a bit romance-based. This one is actually romance-based. This one is more fantasy, but then both of them are fantasy. I like this one. You see, I made custom colorings and stuff, and even annotated it. The same goes for this, though I didn't annotate it. I did at some point underline some things. Well, never mind. But these are good books. Hunger Games is definitely on the list. There are also kind of a lot of classics over here. I have the orange books, the Alchemist over here, and this is the Haunting of Evelyn Jones. These two are like books of history. This is The Kid Who Came from Space. This is a math book. This one is The Old Man and the Sea. This is Sherlock Holmes. These two are Sherlock Holmes. And of course, we have Powerless. Like literally, what's a bookshelf without Powerless? And Fearless. That thing fell down when I took the books, yeah. And of course, I do have some books for help. I don't know why. And I do have the autobiography section over here. 2 Famous Five, 1 Mallory Towers. The rest I read from like a library. Also, the one I'm currently reading, the book 1984 by George Orwell. It is kind of dystopian. I've annotated the parts I've read and, you know, underlined stuff. It is kind of crazy at some point, and I was like, what? I was like so happy when one character called Simon, this book literally disappeared. He literally wanted to destroy words, and I was like, yeah, that was what I was doing. Yeah. And I was also really, and there's this thing called newspeak in the book where, you know, some words are being replaced by smaller versions of the words. Like there are no synonyms and stuff. And of course, some of it is kind of crazy, especially, you know, you don't get any privacy in your house. I would have, you know, ditched the world immediately. And also, like, there is Winston. This is the summary, like, you know, amidst these minor party official, Winston commits thought crimes. Yeah, that is one of the most craziest things. You cannot think. You literally cannot think. There are thought crimes, there are face crimes. Oh my god, I didn't know my expression could be incriminating. Really. So this is like all the books I've managed to buy. Most of them I read from libraries or online, or I read it like I borrowed it from people. So these are all the books I have, and I managed to arrange it. Yeah, and this little aesthetically. Oh my god, Ron Weasley, where do you... Yeah, I'm kind of a Harry Potter fan. There is a Harry Potter book in this midst. Yeah, it is wrapped because because it's wrapped. Yeah, it's the 3rd book, but I read the whole series from a library. And yeah, I do have an Oxford dictionary, don't ask me why. And these are like my annotating tools. And this is the little book in which I've like written ideas for the book I'm currently writing. This is like a tiny file and stuff. Okay, you didn't see any sticky notes. Yeah. So this is my bookshelf. Hope you all liked it. Bye.